Alright, let's start. So today we want to talk about physics section. Takati susu kuti combined sciences dzikunakidze zvakanaka. Unofanira kuzvipa a discipline yekuti each month you need to be dedicated to a certain section. We know that combined science are in 3 sections. There is biology, there is physics, and there is what? There is chemistry. If you dedicate yourself each section each month, pressure in a show. So February we were doing chemistry session. Then now we want to do physics session. We introduced chinobonzi physics. Physics is the study of nature. Chinopoti kwaso kufamba zvandiri so is because of physics. Chinopoti mote kwaso rowa brakes is because of physics. Chinopoti kwaso gara pa chair or pa sofa or whatever paunogara zvakanaka usingadone, it's physics. So physics is nature. Our daily life yedu yese we use physics. Well, at least we don't know we are using physics. So today we want to talk about a third topic. Takatora nyaya data presentation. Tikati data is presented in different ways. Tikati what is data? Tikati data is unprocessed information. Tikati you can present data in terms of tallies. Atinotora kuti unyora kuti 5 zvafana kuti 1 2 3 4 variji what 5. Kuti unyora 10 it's 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 yachi ya 10. How to get that babo? Kuti unyora 4 you do the same thing. So you can represent your data in the form of what? Of tallies. You can also represent your data in the form of a what? Of a pie chart. Then from there we move on to what is known as measurement. Measurements apa examiner wako anoda kuti uzive anonzi ma physical quantities. The physical quantity chi, it is something that can be what? Can be measured. As simple as that. That's a physical quantity. Something can be measured. The examiner wako ane 7 physical quantities. I know my basic unit. Why reaching the basic unit? We are talking about this is the origin of all the other units that you may think of. I would get that. So tikavatama group of vitabashi for 7 basic units. Tikatine number 1 tikatine length. Length tikatine measure in meters. Number 2 tikatine temperature. Temperature measure in what? In kelvins. Tikat number 3 tine time. Time no measure in seconds. Tikat number 4 tine chi amount of substance. Tikat no measure in chi moles. Number 5 tikati susu tine chi. Tikati tine current. Tikati no measure in empires. Number 6, takati susu tine futichi light intensity. Tikati no measure light intensity in candela. Number 7, tikati tine mass. Ino measure in kilograms. Anonzi ma kg. Then we discussed about the derived quantities. What are derived quantities? That these are quantities which are obtained from physical quantities or from basic units by multiplying or dividing them. That's a derived quantity. Example, a mass. Rather, a volume. Volume is equal to length times width times height, which is meters times meters times meters, which is meter cubed. All together, the lack of energy, the lack of acceleration, velocity, force. Tizo, tapedza popo tikati sekunarita physics unema errors zaunoita. Tikati what are these likely errors aunokwanisa kuita? Tikati tine 2 types of error because you are doing combined science. So if it's combined science, we have 2 types of errors. We know the the parallax error. So whereby we have to see things perpendicular to the reading. Then it's 0 error. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How together? Instruments, how you could measure all those things. We discussed about that. The density, it's a mass per unit volume. How to calculate the density of an irregular object. This and how also to calculate volume of an irregular object. So now we want to talk about topic number 3, the force. Can I only form 1, form 2? Define force. Force is push or a pull. That's force. If you are form 1 or what? Or a form 2. But if you are form 3, form 4, define force. Force is a product of mass times g and acceleration. Force is a product of mass and acceleration. So we have types of forces akasiyana siyana. Tinade kuti tension forces, ndoma forces ekudhonzerana. Then my compression forces, my force to say a compressor. Then gravitational force, the force in the contact kudenga should say chodona pasi. Dizo. Then take a frictional force in a zero for wear and tear. So these are some of types of forces. Then examine under to see the effects of a force on an object. Let's say this is an object. Then I applied force. What is happening to the shape of the object? It is deforming. Rather than the apply cha deformer. Let's say but apply force to Superman. That's force. It reduces the velocity of the object. Remember now, because of the force. So at least to find out 4 effects of forces on an object. We move on to what is known as friction. What is friction? Friction on the wheel. It's not the friction. What is that? It's a force that opposes motion. Let's say that our body is moving in that direction. Let's say this is our body. It's moving what? In this direction. Then a force that opposes that motion is known as a friction. Then you know friction inongowanika pama rough surfaces. Pama smooth surfaces friction is shoma. Pama smooth surfaces friction is shoma. Kana put apana friction or rise just apana friction. You're a combined science student. Just say apana friction. But rough apana friction. So this friction can be useful and also it cannot be useful. Very useful in the car braking system. The motor is because of friction, the friction between my brake pedals and the what and the wheel. Yes, so very useful in the wear and tear. Because of friction. At least can open your combined science 0 at least 3 friction very useful, 3 friction very useful. Are we together? Then after that you need to understand how to reduce friction. So how do you reduce friction? Friction number 1, you can reduce friction by lubrication. But when to lubrication match, so what? Give three ways of reducing friction. Number 1, oiling. Number 2, greasing. So because lubrication match, cover oiling, cover greasing. So how do you reduce friction? You can talk about oiling, we talk about greasing. What else can you talk about? We talk about increasing the surface of contact. This also, is the friction, reduces friction. Reduces friction. Or use of rollers by my machines. It also reduces friction. I want to get the purple. We need to be able to balance some forces. My force is a vector quantity. What is a vector quantity? A vector quantity is a quantity with both magnitude and direction. You know the magnitude magnitude is the size. Go to 20, no one's magnitude 20 newtons. Go to 10 newtons in those size. So magnitude and direction, that's a vector quantity. So force is an example of a vector quantity. Why? Simply because it consists of magnitude and direction. Just choose by the Bible. So let's say we wanted to find resultant force. Let's say it's in the body E. Let's say it's 2 newtons. Then we have another body let's say it's 3 newtons. This also. But not in the same direction, guys. So to track a resultant force of this thing, 2 newtons plus 3 newtons, 5 nutons. I bet. Exactly. Then let's say let's call this one 3 newtons. Then let's say you compose the motion guy. So let's say it's minus 4 newtons. This also. But that's chaga overrun. But because we are opposite direction. So can I opposite direction? Kuratiza kutichinu. Shugu opposite direction ku physics. Unaita say wadikanama. Unesa negative sign. So a negative sign simply highlight kuti chiluchuku opposite direction. So is it 3 newtons plus minus and 4 newtons. 30 from mathematics plus the minus 1 minus. Do so. Then the man can say subtract 4 minus 3 then answer the one 1 into the sign of the bigger number, which is minus 1n. This is what. So the resultant force here panapa the minus 1m. And that's back how to calculate the resultant force of mass forces. Alright. We move on to something which is known as mass and weight. Mass and what? And weight. Mass and weight is mass chi. We are talking about the amount of matter contained in a substance. Uremu wechinu. Don't mass. Uremu wechinu. Don't mass. And mass is a scalar quantity. What is the scalar quantity? We are talking about a quantity with only magnitude. Ainachi direction. So chokona kuona tingorine 20 kgs, kana 30 kgs, kana 40 kgs. So that's a scalar quantity. Then what is happening about mass now? Mass they are related to something which is known as inertia. What is inertia? We are talking about the reluctance of a body to resist motion. This one. Oh, you can push out there. What else? Okay, can go do. This one. But you can push out there. Oh. What are the I'm going to shake out. That's what is what? It's inertia. This one. So inertia is the measure of what? Of mass. So as the mass increases, inertia also increases. So what are we talking about? We are simply saying mass is directly proportional to inertia. As the inertia increases, your mass also increases. Then mass measures with the balance. This one. Compared the mass to go to weight. You know what the weight is? We're talking about mass times acceleration due to gravity. So if you are doing combined science, acceleration due to gravity is 10 meters per square second. This also. Kanavazo kupo kuti 9.81 meters per square second vakupawo. How together? But we unoshanza ipi ya 10. Titeseka papo. Kasita 10 bakanaka. So let's do the thing. So tukutichi tungoti weight equals to mass times acceleration due to what? To gravity. This also. For example, tine mass yapa 20 kgs. This one. I chance my kgs for about do basic unit mass. 20 kg. You can weight 20 times 10, which is equal to 200 newtons. Then can I 30 times 10 300 newtons. Can I 40 times 10 400 newtons. Altogether, how to calculate weight? Weight is equals to mass times acceleration due to gravity. This okay? Tapete papo change over na force one to weight it's force. Weight at force. One of my units say weight man newtons. So it's another force. How do you measure force? We simply use a force meter. Test force is using a force meter. So examine our under 20 under 20 the difference between mass and what? And weight. Now different per mass is a scalar quantity, per weight is a what? The vector quantity. Yes, sir. Then you move one other thing, per mass about mass to measure using a balance, per weight to measure using a force meter. This was about. Can I put my definition? Definition of mass is the amount of substance contained in a what? In the amount of matter contained in the substance. Then can I have weight is mass times acceleration due to gravity. You can also use that. Yes. So don't you have mass nation? The mass weight move on to what is called as the momentum. Momentum chi. We are talking about what? Mass chinu times velocity. So momentum equals to mass times g times velocity. This one. Then goes kind from like that. So one of the momentum of the object. Bakupa mass and velocity. Velocity speed h. I but near 3 marks. Combined science I don't know. It's very easy for you to pass this. But energy, 2 marks. So momentum is equals to mass times velocity. Yes. From momentum to moment. Moment is equals to force times g. Force times distance. You know the moment. For example, we are applying force. So this is what? This is the pivot. Ten effect. It's what? It's moment. This one. So could practical moment to know what? A pivot. So put out the chi. This is the pivot. This also. Saka let's say kuti taisa weight kuno taisa another weight kuno. How do baba? Saka anotira kuti the principle of moment ndaibosikana sezvairi izvozvo. The principle of moment states that clockwise moment is equals to anti-clockwise moment. Clockwise moment is what no translation into clockwise guys. This one. Let's on the anti-clockwise. This also. That which is good guys. So clockwise moment is equals to anti-clockwise moment. Iyo doing the principle of moment. Then goes the say right here. If you want the nation on the physics revision, question and answer, you just help me on the phone to say manage here. Chikanda pai, chikanda mo group chirimo. You know get a topic patava practice exam question. Zvinokuitira zvakanaka. So patiripa mafosi ska ese representation measurement kusvika patusvika panota sei wamapedza yaya. Wasikamusora kumba kunyaya yacho nongoiziva at the end of the day. So tapedza chinonzi moment. Lastly chekupedzesera there's what is known as the Isaac Newton's of law. Inotora kuti chivadikane hama. Number 1, the first law inotora kuti an object will remain at rest or continue moving with a constant velocity unless an external force acted upon the object. So what you're saying, let's say this is an object, so apana rungofamba with a constant velocity, but if I apply a force like this, rachinja direction. Ndakasiya phone yangu panapa ndikaenda kwandinoenda pakashaya anoibata phone iyoyo ndinosvika iri kwepa. Pandakaisiya panapa ndakaenda kwandine yakatorwa nadhina ndakaisa muhomwe make ato apply an external force. So the first law, an object will remain at what? At rest, or it will continue moving with a constant velocity unless an external force is acted upon it. Altogether, that's the first law. Second law, the force is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. Rate of change of momentum. Do you know the formula? Force is equal to mg MA. This also the second law knows about the force is equal to MA. Then the third law in every reaction there is an opposite force. What is happening here? Let's say to agrapa bench bako zvakanaka. How together? Do you have to agrapa napa ushu? Kweta unge 6. Let's say those are uri 6 wagara papa. Let's say you exit a certain force of 200 newtons. This also weight of 200 newtons. So 200 newtons do same yauteseo yauri kupiwa oyo. That's all zvino zvigra zvakanaka papa madex pako apa pasiri kutsemo. Wakambogara pa bucket. Wakara bucket nobvuka pai. Mukati chicho chitika pai. Zvingoreva kungoti force yawaisa ikakurisa fura force yadzoserwa. So zvinjira sei cho deform. Another application ma rocket. Rocket kuti launch kweribude zvakanaka kuti force iri kuiswa pazasi ichi. Ndofanira kufanana ne force yaseyo iri kubudisa so. Altogether. So iyayo ndanonzi 3 Isaac Newton's laws of motion. Ipapa vanhu panoperera chinhu chinonzi force dzaunonzi uzive naexaminer wako. Altogether baba pana nemubvunzo. If you have any question, don't hesitate to reach out. Or you ask your questions, then you must have